I'm obsessed with being the troll queen.
That's hot.
Hey Alphaboos, it's me, the Alphabet, doing my own voiceover situation type deal. I know, shock horror. I'm definitely going to put a filter on my voice though because I hate my voice and find it super cringe, but whatever. In this video, we will be reviewing the first quarter of Amberlynn's 2022, taking a dive into her weight loss journey, her mukbangs, her interactions with other characters, and more. We'll also be making some future predictions. So, grab yourselves a bowl of popcorn or Spam, or whatever it is that takes your fancy, and settle in, girls. The year began in typical Amberlynn fashion with a video all about what she and Wifey, who is definitely not Wifey, but we'll get more into that later, got one another for Christmas. It was the same mindless, aimless consumerism we're used to seeing on Amberlynn's channel. We find out that she bought Wifey Jordans, and in return, Wifey bought Amberlynn $400 Lego and some kind of contraption that allows you to exercise while sitting down. Incidentally, it hasn't made a single appearance on her channel since the day we saw it in the Christmas haul, but there we are. Let's talk about Wifey for a moment. Wifey has appeared a few times on Amberlynn's channel this year, with Amberlynn making copious references to her girlfriend. In all of Wifey's appearances, we've never heard her speak, not even from off camera. And there's a pretty simple reason why. Since Amberlynn doxed her last year and then blamed everyone else but herself for it, we have been repeatedly told that Wifey, or Amberlynn's new girlfriend, is a local girl that she started dating around October 2021. This, of course, is bollocks. I address this in more detail and show you guys receipts in my recent Truth or Lie video. But basically, the reason we don't hear Amberlynn's girlfriend's voice is because it's the same voice as Wifey, which we heard last summer. Quick interjection to say that my dog is now snoring quite loudly, so if you hear her in the background, I do apologise. Amberlynn and Wifey had another gift exchange on Valentine's Day, which included this very nice looking bouquet of roses, and we are reliably informed by Amberlynn herself, a selection of adult toys.
This is like an OnlyFans video.
Wifey has been criticised for enabling Amberlynn to make poor choices surrounding food. In response to this, Wifey took to Amberlynn's Snapchat to say that Amberlynn is a grown woman and Wifey cannot control what she puts in her mouth. While I agree it's not Wifey's responsibility to police whatever sodium-loaded sludge Amberlynn puts in her mouth, I do find it interesting that Amberlynn's trope at the beginning of their relationship was that nobody had ever wanted to help her like Wifey, and that their relationship was largely based on this mentor-mentee situation type deal. If we look at this thumbnail from Amberlynn's video, we can see that Wifey has gained a considerable amount of weight since living with Amberlynn. I think there are two possible explanations here. Firstly, Wifey never really cared about Amberlynn's health and was just trying to find a way to get into her life and onto her lease, and once Amberlynn began to trust her, she let down the act. Or Wifey did indeed have every intention of helping Amberlynn, but since moving in has found herself heavily influenced by Amberlynn's bad habits, much like many of Amberlynn's past girlfriends were. Speaking of Snapchat, Amberlynn has taken to it several times over the last few months, answering a series of questions sent in by supporters and haters alike. Someone asked if she would marry Wifey, to which she gave a resounding yes. The Alphabet's off to buy herself a hat. But how will Wifey know Amberlynn's ring size? Well, she need look no further than #Ringgate. This all began when Becky listed Amberlynn's 2 engagement rings for sale on Facebook as sizes 10 and 10.5. Indignantly, Amberlynn insisted that her ring size is in fact 9, going as far as to buy a ring sizer from Amazon to prove this completely pointless fact. When a hater channel, Your Cute Jeans, found the same ring sizer on Amazon and suggested that Amberlynn was still lying, Amberlynn uploaded a video where she showed us the tiny little numbers. Was she lying? Just like, no one cares.
No one cares!
But actually, no one cares. If I was £500, the last thing on this earth I would be worried about was my ring size. Becky eventually gave the rings back to Amberlynn, who proceeded to list them for sale herself on Instagram, claiming that she had bought them in the first place. A far cry from her insistence at the time that Becky had paid for them.
And a lot of people are also saying that Becky paid for the ring, and that I paid for the ring, and I just want to say that Becky actually paid for it. She gets commissions for her art. So, I don't know. That just like made me sad that a lot of people were just like, oh my god, you paid for your own ring, da da da. It's almost like even if I did, who cares? But I didn't.
Though the first quarter of 2022 has been majorly lacking in terms of supporting characters, its redemption came in the form of Destiny, Amberlynn's former boo, throwing some quite major shade on the Yellow Ghost app. Destiny asserted that she would choose diarrhea over Amberlynn, and that she would choose to be point-blank shot rather than date Amberlynn again. Destiny, hun, that's really quite dramatic. As I said, the beginning of this year has been lacking in the way of supporting characters. Amberlynn has alluded to spending time with Eric and Ricky, Becky, and several other unnamed friends. She maintains that these friends don't want to be on camera and that their rules surrounding YouTube are so strict she couldn't even film the numbers of her scale in their bathroom. These mysterious excursions with even more mysterious friends have offered a refreshing glimpse of the world outside Amberlynn's apartment, with brief shopping trips and several looks inside the interior of Wifey's new car, which Amberlynn absolutely did not pay for, just like she absolutely did not pay for her engagement rings, which, turns out she did. For the most part though, the walls of Amberlynn's apartment feel as familiar to many of us as the walls of our own homes. Amberlynn's content has largely centred around food, from grocery hauls to mukbangs to really fucking weird recipes. Our taste buds have tingled with intrigue as... No, do you know what? Forget it, I can't make that sound convincing. Perhaps the most notorious of all of Amberlynn's recent recipes is this one.
You're gonna be cutting your Spam.
Just imagining how that must smell is legit making me want to heave.
Cut it however you want. I'm gonna do like cubes. Ham and corn going. We have the rice going. Now I'm gonna cut some scallions. Now I add some soy sauce because I don't add much during the cooking process. Same with sriracha. I do add a little bit more.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Just trust me. And then obviously you can top it off with scallions or whatever, but this is delicious, I promise.
Okay.
I've no doubt this is trolling. Amberlynn has access to good quality meat, to good quality fresh produce. The only reason she is cooking meals like this is to wind up complete strangers on the internet. It's so wild to me to see Amberlynn make this meal because, for example, my grandparents grew up eating Spam during the war because there was such tight rationing, it's all they had. It was a last resort. So to see people like Amberlynn eat it for funsies, it is just really bloody disconcerting. With thumbnails and titles such as this, Amberlynn has really leveled up the trolling on her channel this year. The really sad thing about this is that Amberlynn claims to know her life is in her hands at this point. She claims to know that in order to survive, in order to be alive in 10 years, she has to change her ways.
I actively need to lose weight or I'm gonna die. So I'm scared.
Trolling gives her this false sense of superiority, when in reality it's actually quite tragic. Her trolling is killing her. No amount of Kardashian perfume and Lego is worth limiting your life and your opportunities and isolating yourself the way that Amberlynn has, the way that she chooses to in order to piss off complete strangers on the internet. She'd rather have online notoriety than real-world experiences. Her weight loss journey has undoubtedly been affected by her trolling, and let's talk about that journey for a hot minute. It has been the overarching narrative of her content this year. In January, she committed herself to 100 days of weighing in. If anyone thought she was actually going to see this through, well, the joke's on them. As an overview, Amberlynn lost and gained and lost and gained again the same 10 lbs. It came as no surprise to absolutely anyone when she quit. Instead, she joined an outpatient program to try and combat her binge eating disorder. This was met with criticism, as many viewers believed it would be more beneficial for her to receive inpatient treatment, citing Tammy Slayton as an example of a success story. She refuted this advice and criticism, claiming that inpatient treatment would not work for her. So, does the outpatient program appear to be working? Well, it's hard to say. In a recent video, Amberlynn shared her doubts about the program, including that her therapist and psychologist didn't want her to structure her diet too much, and that the program seems to be emphasizing the need for healing from her disorder rather than weight loss. I don't want to poke fun at this situation. I think Amberlynn needs to hear some hard truths, particularly pertaining to her relationship with YouTube, and I hope this program gives her the support she needs to hear those truths and still see it through. Do I think she'd be better off as an inpatient? Sure. Am I glad she's at least doing something proactive? Absolutely. Am I optimistic that she'll see it through? Well, we'll get into that in a minute. To fund her treatment, Amberlynn started a Cameo.
I just want to say hello to Chubbers. Chubbers, can I like give you a little hold, please? Can we like cuddle in bed? I love me a cat cuddle. But okay, so Kristen, oh God, I'm gonna feel so bad if I'm saying your name wrong. You need to let me know, please.
Why anyone would pay $30 for this, I do not know, but apparently the mukbangs weren't bringing enough cash in. Hey, speaking of mukbangs, how could we ignore the biggest drama that has befallen our girl so far this year? I'm referring, of course, to #NikocatoAvocadoGate. This incredibly uncomfortable situation type deal involved a compilation of Nikocado throwing shade at Amberlynn and suggesting that she had faked her cancer diagnosis in 2020. As I've said before on this channel, I've always believed that cancer is pretty much the only thing Amberlynn has ever consistently told the truth about. Amberlynn went as far as uploading a video with footage from her stay in hospital and her scar. Again, this isn't a situation that I'm going to poke fun at. I think it's sad that she had to do that, but I think she has to take accountability. She is a prime example of the boy who cried wolf. She routinely lies about big things and small things, so it's understandable that people wouldn't believe her about this. As I've said before, the travesty isn't that she lied about cancer. The travesty is that her weight caused cancer, and it still wasn't enough of a wake-up call. Anyway, Nikocado hasn't personally responded to this drama. It seems like he's got his own thing going on right now. And while I do think it was pretty low of him to insinuate that she faked cancer, I think most of what Amberlynn does is pretty low also. There's 6 of one and half a dozen of another. As As we all know, the real star of the Amberverse is none other than Twinkie Star. And honestly, 2022 has not started out all that well for our favourite morbidly obese chihuahua, despite her cute new coat. In March, Twinkie was prescribed with medication for a dislocating knee. While this is common among older small breed dogs, the sad reality is that Twinkie's weight cannot have helped the situation. I'm glad Amberlynn actually took her to the vet, and I'm glad she's receiving appropriate care, and I really do hope she'll be okay. So, let's talk best and worst moments. For me, Amberlynn's best moment was this.
I actually am a dietitian. So weird. Like, I'm a dietitian nutritionist. I honestly didn't think it would ever happen. It's fucking so weird. Like, my dreams have come true. I only have one client though, which is quite unfortunate. His name is Nicholas. He's struggling.
Despite it being part of a mukbang, which I don't love, I enjoyed her having a little joke with the audience, partly at her own expense. As many of us have said, over the last few months, her videos have taken a sadder, more solemn tone. And this was a little glimpse back to the days where she could actually be quite fun when she wasn't trolling. And the worst moment? It's got to be this.
In the middle of all my trolling. Okay, yes, I troll. Whatever. Trollin has entered the chat. Trolling is fucking fun, okay? Like, I am obsessed with being the troll queen. Like, literal Trollin entered the chat.
As I said, I find Amberlynn's trolling really pitiful. This crown moment is embarrassing and genuinely uncomfortable to watch. It's a moment of pure narcissism, and I have to wonder what her psychologists would say if they saw it. So what will happen in the next few months? Firstly, for the foreseeable future at least, I think Wifey will stick around. As we don't know that much about her, it's hard to tell what her intentions are. If it was financial incentive, I think we'd be seeing that by now. Amberlynn loves to brag about how much money she throws at people. I think most of us can agree that Wifey's interest in Amberlynn is not genuine, and there is a somewhat sinister undertone to their relationship. But until more is revealed, it's hard to say how it will end. I think for now Wifey is staying put, but I don't see it lasting till the end of the year. Amberlynn will quit the outpatient program. Unfortunately, I think this is the most likely outcome. Amberlynn hates being told the truth. She cannot handle criticism. I think the financial cost will soon begin to outweigh her perceived benefit, especially as weight loss doesn't seem to be a top priority. I hope she proves me wrong, I truly do, but I doubt she will. Amberlynn will quit Cameo. There's no way the level of commitment, which isn't huge by the way, that Cameo requires is sustainable for our girl. I don't see it lasting until the end of April, honestly. Amberlynn will begin a new diet. She hasn't done Jenny Craig for a while, so that's where my money would be. Finally, and this might be wishful thinking, but Amberlynn will whisk Wifey away on a staycation to a mid-range, Chihuahua-friendly hotel where they'll spend their days perusing the aisles of Target and their evenings playing card games and ordering takeout. I feel like Amberlynn is due a holiday, and a change of scenery would definitely bring in some views. So that's an overview of the first quarter of 2022. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more, and be sure to check out my playlists. You guys are truly the best, and I am so grateful for every single one of you. Be safe, be well, be good, take care, and I will see you soon with another video.
No! Onion. Ching, ching, ching!
Vagina.